This is another video. I'm gonna rehandle this golf club, start to finish. I'm gonna use the hooked blade on the knife to cut off the old handle and try to get the blade to hook underneath the grip, and it'll go through there easier. Peel back the old grip. There's the dried solvent and the tape on there. I'm gonna heat it up a little bit with the heat gun to try to get it to free off, and if it doesn't start to peel off easy, then it's time for the scraper. So the heat gun and trying to peel it off with my fingers didn't really work out that well. I'm actually using a chisel. I'm taking that angled side and putting it down against the shaft, trying not to scrape it as much as possible. A lot of people want to use the chisel on it, but it worked for my application. I also used it on one of the graphite shafts as well, and it didn't mess up the graphite shaft. So I'm just going to kind of scrape all this off and sped up this up a little bit because it is a long process, scraping all that old stuff off and getting it cleaned up. Lots of long passes trying to take it all off and a little go back when I missed. This is my secret to getting the sticker residue off. Just a little WD-40, spray it on, then that lubrication helps peel the sticker back. And then you can use a rag or a cloth or a t-shirt like I used, and you can kind of just rub it off. And you might need to scrape it a little bit more, but for the most part, it should all just rub off. Finishing up getting the most of the residue off, a few last touches. Also, try to get all of the WD-40 wiped off before you try to put the sticker and stuff on there. It'll still stick, but it won't stick. It won't hold very well. A few more scrapes, almost done. All right, I think we're almost there to be locked and loaded and start putting handle on this bad boy. The WD-40 is great. I recommend getting some. This is probably the most satisfying part. This double-sided tape that you use. You don't take the blue part off or the plastic piece, just take the paper piece off. And I like to start with one side, and then I'll slowly get it to in the right spot that I want it into. And then ideally what you're going to want to do is smooth it with your fingers a little bit at a time. That way you don't get a bunch of creases in it. Smooth it, smooth it. And then once you get to that other portion where the other paper is, go ahead and peel that off. I like to do it one at a time. That way you don't get a bunch of hair and weird stuff stuck on there because you're struggling or something. And then naturally, the plastic piece will kind of peel itself off as you're rubbing the other piece on there. Try not to wrinkle it, but if it wrinkles, it wrinkles. It's not going to be the end of the world. Just try to make it as tight of a wrinkle as possible, I guess. Uh, Pretty much we got all this put on there. Then I'm going to roll in the end there. That way no dirt gets down in there. Not that that hole is big enough for a whole lot of dirt to get into anyways on the handle. Make sure you got a drip tray underneath your club. That way you don't get the solvent everywhere. You can reuse the solvent and pour it back into there if you want. I'm going to heat the handle up with a heat gun right now just to make it a little pliable, make it a little bit easier to get on there. A little bit of heat never hurt. Trying to put it on not warmed up is a little pain, but don't heat it up towards burning hot and gonna burn you. Just heat it up enough to kind of warm the rubber. Now what you're gonna want to do is cover the little hole in the bottom, pour the solvent inside of the handle itself, and you're gonna cover the hole on the other end and you're gonna shake it on up. Make sure the inside's got a good coat to it. And I like to actually pour the leftover solvent out of it on top of the tape itself, and it helps it slide a little bit more. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but it made it a heck of a lot easier to slide it on the pole. You have to use a little bit of muscle once you get that tip on there. You got those arrows on the club. Try to line those up with how your club would sit straight. That way you know where to put your hands on the club. There you go. In a couple hours, it'll be good to play. That's the video, y'all. Have a good one.